defensive coordinator Tyson. We'll just jump into questions. Maxwell, start us off.
Coach, this works as sort of a pseudo bye week for you guys at that time off. How's it been for the defense, who seems to be hurting as of late?
Yeah, well, I think anytime this time of year, anytime you get off, it's a good thing. We've got guys that have been kind of banged up and dinged up, some of those things. And, like Coach Helton said earlier, we've had an opportunity to play a lot of midweek games. And, through those things, this gives us an opportunity to have a little bit of a break, kind of a regroup. And I think we've taken our time wisely with that. We've had opportunities to get ready. We've had opportunities to have meetings, spend a lot of one-on-one individual time with the players. And so I think they'll be ready to go today when we get started with them.
You guys are facing another kind of run-forward offense this week. This one's a little different in that they have a couple of running backs that do most of the heavy lifting for them. Just what are you concerned about for Penn?
Yeah, they do a great job with the run game. Coach Dimmel's been doing it a long, long time. Knows exactly what he wants. Knows the pictures that he wants. Obviously, their top part of the run game is obviously the stretch and the pin pull series that they have with it. They do a great job with those two. A lot of two tight end sets. They play with a fullback. A lot of times people don't play with a fullback anymore, so that makes it interesting. The two backs are really, really good. 1-2 punch, and they do a great job of being able to, play well together and complement each other. And, both backs are, again, guys that can hit home runs on you. Both backs can be able to touch the ball on the perimeter as well out of the backfield. So, again, it'll be a big challenge for us. We've got to be able to focus on, setting edges and being able to focus on making sure that we're running through tackles on these guys.
When it comes down to this previous Liberty game, they were able to take advantage of the run itself. You talked a little bit about it, but what specifically did you learn from that game maybe that you can implement this one?
Sure. Well, Liberty does a great job. Their coaches have done a great job with their scheme. They've got really, really good players, and we do too. Ultimately, I've got to do a better job, in the second half, and most particularly in the fourth quarter, of making sure that our guys are ready to go and prepared to be able to handle the things they did. I didn't do a good enough job of that, so that's going to be what I've got to be able to make sure that I'm implementing as we go into this week.
I always like to get some of your evaluations in this time too on your guys. Deontay Davis, up front, how he's developing this year.
Yeah, he's done great. Again, he's a great young man, and came to us as a transfer, obviously from UT Martin, and he's a guy that comes to work every day. He's a guy that, again, uses his hands really, really well for what we do with kind of a two-gap system up front. He's a great fit. Coach Hall's done a great job with him, and he continues to develop. Every week he comes in and he asks different questions about things that he needs to be able to work on. He takes 3 or 4 things each week, adds those kind of to his tool belt, and continues to be a positive leader for our guys. He's come a long, long way, and as we finish up in the last month or so, I think you'll see him really, really come on and make some great plays.
Donut out and of course up to now, there's been a lot of holes that you have to fill. Anybody in particular that has really stood out to you?
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of been by committee. Like you talked about, you've seen a couple of different guys show up. Obviously, the outside linebacker, Kylan Guidry's obviously played really well for 2 or 3 games. Sebastian Benjamin played extremely well in the game the other night, led our team in tackles, and played extremely, extremely well. But it's been different guys in those spots. Karan Hayward's been able to come in and make some good plays for us in his opportunities as well. At corner, I think it's the same thing. I think you've been able to see Anthony Johnson, Davion Williams, and we've had some other injuries there at corner with some guys, so they've kind of taken the bulk and the load. And I think again, we're trying to make sure as we move forward, those guys have the best opportunity to play, and that I'm putting them in the situations that they can utilize their strengths to the best that they can. But I think at both of those positions, you're able to see both those guys continue to move forward, and I'm hoping to be able to sit there and see them have a great game this week on Saturday.
Kendrick Simpkins has kind of been the tip of the spear for you guys with your defensive pressure.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this season, if not all of it. What skill set does he have that makes him so useful in that role?
Yeah, Kendrick's been a great player for us, and really came along. He got injured early in the season a year ago, so didn't play as much first 2 or 3 games. But when he did come back a year ago, he kind of started as what we would call a dime linebacker, and then he wound up going to free safety, wound up going to strong safety, went through camp really as a nickel for us. So one thing, he can play all 4 spots and has played all 4 for us through the year. I think the big thing with Kendrick is he plays physical and he's smart. He's a guy that can look at a lot of different things pre-snap that are able to help him. He knows the issues with each coverage. He knows the issues with each part of the run game. And, ultimately he's a guy that wants to be able to make the play. And when you are trying to find and when you're trying to design things, he's an easy fit to do that because he can do a lot of different things for you. He plays well in coverage, he plays well in the run fits, and he can play all 4 spots. So as we've had different injuries over the course of the last 2 years, he's been able to fit all those things. He's very much a conceptual learner, understands the big picture, but he's a guy that wants to be able to make the play and has done a great job for us. I do think he's extremely explosive, understands what blocks he's getting, works really hard at being able to see what he's going to get from each individual person he may take on in a one-on-one. So smart guys that play hard, man. Those are the guys that you want to be able to have, and he's certainly one of those.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you all.